Hello, everybody. Here's Raymond. Doesn't he look sexy? Right. Say hello, Raymond, while I send you something.
Hello.
Hel
Oh, aye.
All right. Hello, Moto. Um. Okay. Apologies for getting on a little bit late, folks. Just had a little bit of technical difficulties, as bloody always. Okay, if you have any audio issues or video issues, feel free to let us know. And definitely let us know if you see Ray's dog licking his balls in the background. And I did say Ray's dog, not just Ray. Um, okay, Ray, what are we doing here today?
I don't know. What are we doing here today? Have
You
you
know what?
sent me anything yet?
Not yet. No, I'm trying to find it while I talk. Um, uh, I'll get there eventually. Oh yeah, there we go. Right, okay. So, obviously, in the Dynamic GT League, we have a very interesting new championship that we are about to start with this coming week. Actually, tomorrow is the first race of the championship. The teams with a twist series. And if you haven't worked out what that means, you will in a few minutes, I'm sure. Um, Okay, just want to double check that this is picking up my audio. Could you say something, Ray? Make sure we're getting your audio as well.
Testing testicles, testing.
Yeah, that's how he starts every audio test. Okay, so yeah, this coming championship, it's a DGT first where we are having a multi-class teams championship. Obviously, we kept it very secret of exactly how things were going to go with it. Um, in a nutshell, basically, we've got champions, gold and dirties, being paired up with non-champions to form a team, and that was all released on a video recently. The teams have then had the opportunity to pick their cars in ascending order and also provide liveries. And that is one of the things that we are going to be having a look at today, also with team names if we have them. Now, is there anything that you want to mention before we get started, Ray? This is where you go. Is there anything I
Yeah,
meant to mention?
you only sent me a picture, you never sent me the team names.
It's on the picture, you muppet.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the team names.
No, one picture with one
Uh-huh.
team and their name on it.
Or are you doing a picture at a time?
Yeah, picture at a time.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, right, okay.
Uh,
Right, now
see,
I know
technically,
what. See, I've been here since 8:15 and you turn up at 27 minutes past.
yep. And yeah, and you're the technical difficulties. Okay,
I'm not technical difficulties,
well,
I've got other
well,
difficulties.
yeah, that's true. Okay, so
Chill
yeah,
out.
yeah, how to not overthink. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be having a look at the teams, the liveries, and we'll touch on a couple of bits. So, first off, I want to mention a couple of the rules just to clarify them. In this championship, there's going to be Group 3 cars, that's what the non championship drivers are driving, and Group 4 cars, that's what the champions are driving. The Group 4s are going to be using the racing soft tyre, the Group 3s are going to be using the racing hard tyre, and you may need to pit and change tyres. However, if either driver puts the wrong tyres on their car, both drivers will have to pit to put the correct tyres on their car. So it only needs one teammate to get it wrong, and both will have to pit as a penalty. So it's a way of making sure that teammates make sure that their teammates put the right tyres on. Um, the other thing we want to mention as well, this is something completely new. Obviously, being a team's championship, teams are going to score points, which, if drivers are unavailable and are away, could hurt a few people. So, one of the things that we are going to do is any non attending driver will score 1 point. It's not a lot, but at least you get something. So, technically, Bob could do no races this championship and get 18 points. Yeah, Ray's got
Okay,
no comment on that. Nothing. Nothing.
gets 18 points.
Yeah. Yep, that'll be the way the cookie crumbles. So for the likes of Nelly, whose teammate isn't going to be available for the first few races, at least they'll get an extra point on there. Okay, should we crack on? Should we get into it? The
Yep,
first team selection. Um,
yep.
okay, so hopefully this picture should appear on the screen now. Um, and okay, so the first team we have Jimmy and Demonar in the Nissans. And what is their team name, Ray?
Trust in the speed.
Any idea why it's trusting the speed?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Well, Jimmy's always on lean, so it's no anything to do with Jimmy.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Or maybe I am teasing Jimmy into using the higher fuel modes. Or it could be that the first letter of each of the words spells tits.
Aye. A couple of bits.
which is the actual reason. Okay, so yeah, so Demonar and Jimmy are going to be in the Nissans, and Jimmy been doing quite a bit of practice, hasn't he?
Has it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. However, there has
Oh,
been some breaking news.
what?
He can't make the first bloody race.
He's too busy with Richie's wife.
Well, yeah, that he is. But yeah, unfortunately, he can't make. He thought the first race was next week. Well, as in like a week tomorrow, but it's not. Yeah, unfortunately, Jimmy going to be missing the first race, which is a bit of a shame. But what can we do?
Give him a point.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, give him a point. Um, so yeah, um, don't really know what else to say about that. Really, could be an
Yep,
interesting team pairing. Um, as almost as the cars look almost as pretty as those two
yep.
Muppets.
And it's a Nissan Silvia. It's not the Nissan. Uh, any Nissan. What's the Group 3 version?
GT,
Nismo?
the Group 4 version,
No, the Group 3
or the Group 3
version.
version is the GT Nismo, yeah.
Yeah, so the one for the Group 4 is a Nissan Silvia.
Yes. Yeah. Because the Nissan GTR in the Group 4s is a four-wheel drive, and all of the cars in this championship are front-engine, rear-wheel drive. Okay, so I've sent you the wrong next
Yep.
team, so we'll get on
Okay.
to the correct next team, um, which was a bit of a surprising pick, really. So I've just sent it to you, so we'll
Yep.
pop it on the screen. So in the Jag, we've got Jag Two Wits, which is Steve F1 and Formula Gary, who we need to know if Gary's actually got the car yet.
He messaged earlier wondering what tyres we had to get, so I presume so.
Well, in that case, he should do then. And the tyres should be the standard tyres for that Jag. I must admit though, I do like the look of the Jag with the silver chrome of Gary's liveries and the green that Steve F like kind of Jaguar green. But
Yeah.
Steve also using green. I do like the way that that looks. Steve's done a nice job on that livery. You know, Gary hasn't done it because he's only just got the bloody car.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a nice thing. That looks good, and it'll be interesting to see them two
Mm,
in a team.
absolutely.
Uh, I like the name Jag Tuwits. Is that something to do with the surname?
Uh, you know what? You, I hadn't realised that, but yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wonder
not
if
just a fucking pretty face.
I what was that? There was a politician who used to be called Summit Two Jags.
Oh, he was. Oh, damn, he was Scottish, wasn't he?
He was Scottish. Yeah.
What was it?
Oh, what's his name? Not that this is what we should be talking about, but yeah. Oh,
John
yeah,
Prescott.
that's it. Yeah. I don't. There was something Two Jags was his name, or Two Jags
Yeah,
something. but it maybe began with an A and whole. But anyway, so yeah, Steve F1 and formerly Gary in the Jags. So it'll be interesting to see how those two get on. If we move then on to the next ones, I've already sent you that one early, bit prematurely, Ray.
Yeah. Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so here we have SGP and Rich Blues and their team name, Ray.
Power trips.
I wonder why that might be.
Because they're a pair of power trips.
Ah, no, it's because you're on the power trip kicking about the chat all the time. I think it might be anyway.
I was only about bad. Oh.
They did change their team name from something else
Yeah.
to Power Trips. I'm curious to know what the relevance is though with the dinosaur picture. Um, are they going to come in like a meteor and destroy everybody else?
No, is it not something to do with crazy golf?
Oh, it might be. It might be because of a little bit of cheeky advertisement on the side of their car. Gone with green, which is the Mulligan's sort of green, but again looks good with gold. Green and gold going nicely together.
Yeah, I don't see much like Rich Blues normal colours of livery. I think SGP was ahead of that one.
I think you might be right. Although I do believe that some of the decals on it is to do with SGP's favourite drink and Rich Blues' favourite drink. So I think it's Rattler Rich has got on there and Doom Bar for SGP. Now,
Yep.
interestingly as well, from what I've been hearing, apparently the Dodge Vipers are the fastest in the straight line.
Oh, I don't know that.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I don't
didn't.
know do much,
uh,
much testing on any of the cars. I just drove whatever for a bit of fun.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it either until apparently Rich Blues, one of his requirements in picking the car was to have one that's fast in a straight line, and yeah, so they kind of went with the Dodge. However, I do know that one driver was struggling with a car. We'll get to a little later on. It seemed to be
Oh,
miles off the pace, but
he
was fast.
wants it. He wants it to be fast in a straight line. What happens when it comes to cornering? And what happens when it comes to braking?
That's what the cars in front are
He's
for.
going to Jamaica.
Quite possibly. Um, well, yeah. I mean, I reckon he probably bloody will do. Um, yeah. I mean, he could find himself going so deep into the corner he could end up in the dandelions. I'm saying that, can you use dandelion in a sentence?
No,
I can.
can you?
That
I
cheetah
can't even
is
say the
faster
word.
than the lion.
All right.
Yeah. You went Jamaican, so I
Oh,
went
right.
Jamaican. And now we get banned. Okay, should we move on to the next one?
Well, my book full of
Say
jokes.
again. You what,
my
broke?
book, my book full of jokes
Uh,
for next season.
oh, right. Yeah. Oh, dear. Yeah, we'll have to get. I need to stock up on those. Okay, so let's move on to the next ones, where we have Twilight and Art Pal and their team name, Ray.
What?
It sounded like you said quack then. But yeah,
But I was close to teams with a twist.
I don't know.
I went.
I mean, maybe is it what's the word? A premonition that they could win this championship.
No, it's Twilight and Art Pal.
Why is it
They're
not
just without
twat
the
then?
R. Because it's twats. Couple of twats. Was that the posh way of saying it?
Mm,
You couple of twats.
yeah, yeah, you're twat. Um,
I reckon that'll be a strong team.
absolutely.
I could see that being quite a strong team.
Well, interestingly, the other night I I decided to drive Jimmy's Nissan. Um, See if there's anything I could learn about it going around Brazil, and there was a few bits. And I then decided I'll drive. So, for example, I drove a BMW because someone was struggling with it, and found something out about that. So I ended up driving quite a few of the different cars, and I drove the Group 3 Corvette. It's an absolute beautiful beast. That thing is planted. Excuse me. So I think Art Pal's got a damn good chance of winning some races. Um, and Twilight, the Group 4 Corvette, is just as good. Um, so yeah, I agree. These two could be the two to beat.
Yeah. Well, there is another group of people, but we'll get to that as well when we get there.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the. Oh, and we won't move on to the next ones yet. Just talk a bit more about these two, Ray.
Because your camera's fucked.
Is it? No, I haven't sent the picture. That's why I'm about to do it.
Alright.
Uh,
Yeah, they're quite two strong contenders, even in the league races as well. So
mm.
I see them up there and down there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, interestingly, in the few practice sessions we've done recently, Jimmy's won some races, Art Pal's won some races, Nelly's won some races. So it's going to be very interesting to see who is going to be able to come out on top. Okay, let's take a look at the next one then. And unfortunately for this one, I haven't got both the drivers' liveries. So the liveries that you see on screen isn't the liveries that the drivers are going to be using, but they are in the BMW, and it is Jason and Critical. Jason being in the Group 4 BMW, Critical being in the Group 3 BMW. And their team name, Ray?
Or lag.
BMW Fartlag. Apparently,
BMW, sorry, but for lag.
yeah, yeah, apparently lag means team as well as law in Swedish. So I don't know what fart means. Maybe it's fast.
Yeah, I'll find
I
out
bet
then.
it is. You know what? I bet it is fast team. Either that or it's Shartin. Now, that would have been a good team name for someone. So while you're looking at that, so the BMW, these were two cars that I did drive the other day, and something
R
fast.
is speed.
So it's speed BMW speed team. But we're still calling them fart lag. Commentary's going to be a bit tricky this champions. Team twats are overtaking team twits while fart lags are overtaking power trips. Oh Jesus, guys. Yeah. So something with the
BMW art lag's having a lot of lag.
it's very fast lag. Yeah. So the Dodge Viper's supposed to be like the best in a straight line. However, Jason was struggling massively for speed and pace in the BMW. Like, literally, even with boost, it was multiple seconds off the pace. And when I drove it, eventually worked out it needed really short shifting using seventh gear. And it was able
The
to
right
out.
tyres.
Oh, no, it had the right tyres on. I
So
mean,
Jason.
yeah, Jason had the right tyres on. Because I did it with the right tyres on and I was off the pace as well. And so then I tried extending the gears to maximum revs, and that seemed to actually work a little bit. It got a bit quicker. And then SGP actually mentioned, what about trying to short shift it? Went to short shifting, and basically the BMW's got a turbo, and it's a low rev range turbo. So for anyone that doesn't realise this, when you got the turbo on, and you got the white bar that shows the pressure, once that white bar starts coming down again, you're losing turbo pressure, so effectively losing power. And in the BMW, if you don't shift early, that because it only gets to about 0.75 psi of bar anyway. If you extend the gears, it drops that psi rapidly. You get no speed. But if you shift early, it will keep that psi very high, and that's where the speed come from. So I went from going out the final corner at Brazil with SGP behind me to him driving past me, overtaking me, and like gaining a second or so up the road. That's how it was at the start of the race, and by the end, um, I was overtaking him down the main straight. Like not because of slipstream, literally coming out of the final corner, getting side by side, and out dragging him down the main straight. So that BMW Group 4 has got some phenomenal speed. It just needs really short shifting. And when you consider, Ray, Jason's driving that car, and like it needs to be calmly driven.
He's quite a calm driver.
Mm-hmm. Apart from when he's lagging, I've heard he's. he, I was going to say he's like the one from Sesame Street that lives in the bin.
Cookie Monster.
Is it?
Is it Cookie
No,
Monster?
it's not Cookie. Well, it might be the Cookie Monster. But yeah, it's like he's
Alpha.
raggedy and all over the place. But anyway, bad joke. So yeah, but Jason could be a real threat in that BMW. Hopefully he'll get to grips with it because if he does, it's going to be tough to beat.
I
Because
was actually surprised on this pick as well.
I was. Tell us why.
Because you still had the Mercedes, you still
Mm-hmm.
had the shit, I can't remember all the cars.
Toyota, Ford Mustang.
Yeah. Well, the Toyota as well, that's quite a nice car to drive as long as you
Mm-hmm.
treat it right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely. Now the interesting thing with these as well is, see, I think Jason and Critical could have a really good championship. I think a big part of it is going to come down to how Critical gets on with that BMW. Because I think quite a few of us perhaps wouldn't have thought that that'd be the car that Critical would go for. However, if Critical can drive that car how Jason would drive it, nice and smooth, gentle on the brakes, not late braking, not being aggressive, that car is an absolute dream to drive and it is rapid. I think probably the biggest thing to mention about it is, do you remember what model of BMW it is, Ray?
no. I don't.
Something to do with long races?
Endurance.
It's the endurance. And what is the difference between endurance racing and, let's say, I don't know, a BTCC race?
Endurance race is you need the car to last longer.
Hmm.
And it's over a long period of time where BTC is only like 24 laps or something, so
Hmm.
it's quite quick and aggressive.
Yes. So with it being the endurance model, and this is one of the things I found when I drove this, and again, I've done I saved the replay for Critical to look at how I was driving it. If you drive it thinking this is an endurance car that just needs to be looked after a little bit, it needs to be caressed into the braking zones and into the corners and caressed on the exit of the corners, it will give you lap time. But if you start trying to sprint race it, it will give you crashes. It's a very fine line, but it has the capability, even with Critical driving it, of being a real contender.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
drive it like you drive your woman.
Is that why you keep ramming into the back of everyone, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry, everybody. Ray started it. Um, okay. Right, okay. We'll move on to the next one, shall we? Okay, so the next team is the Hay Raker and the Baby Maker. It's Hay and Ray in their super special livery. Ray, would you like to talk
Yeah.
us through your special livery?
Just he worked for Tesco, so I thought we'd put that on there.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, yeah, they sound like a old fucking what do you call it?
I have no idea where you're going with this, so
Band,
I'm not commenting.
an old band, the Hayraker and the
Oh,
Babymaker.
right, yeah, it could be, or a subtitle for a Mad Max film. Um, but now, interesting team pair in this one. Obviously, SRI Ray got a couple of dirty championships, finished second in the last championship, and if it wasn't for me, probably would have won the championship. Um, so definitely improving. And Hey finished second out of the non-champions in the last championship. So Hayes had an absolute stonker of a season just gone. So again, these two could be right up there battling for wins. And you can comment on this in a moment, Ray, but for most people, they would perhaps say that the Mercedes is the grippiest, maybe one of the fastest. It's I personally think it is one of the better cars out of all of these selections. However, it is boring as hell to drive. But Hay, for example, hasn't got to battle all the drivers like he did last championship. He only has to battle the non-champions, of which he's managed to beat quite a few of them in the last championship. So it would Nelly finished ahead of him. So if it's a battle, Nelly, Art Pal, Critical, Hay, which it will be, any one of these guys could win races.
Yeah,
And Hay
just
is in that selection, isn't
yeah, and
he?
like, and he keeps it on the track and doesn't make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's going to have a good time. Uh, well, we're thinking of the Toyota until I spoke to Hay,
Mm.
and uh, he asked what one would be worst off for Conrad and Nelly.
Yeah, which car
Yeah,
do we want Conrad and Nelly to end up in, or which one do we not want them to have?
yeah,
Um,
and
yeah,
so that's why we got
the Merc.
the Merc.
The thing, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, okay, Hay's got a good chance of winning races, but when we did a practice race the other night, and you were in your Merc and I was in my Nissan, I couldn't beat you. So you've got a damn good chance of winning races because I know that that Merc is brilliant. Yes, it can be a bit boring to drive, but I think for you, being in VR, it's got that extra little bit of excitement to it. So the boredom of it that others may have suffered, I don't think you'll have. And when it comes to boredom, it's more like to do with it sounds big and heavy and lazy, but it's actually very light and nimble, and it's from what I can remember, it is absolutely stuck to the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to get the back end out on it, and uh, if you've got your brake bias set to the right thing, it'll turn into corners easy.
Hmm.
The- Uh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the other one as well. The
Mm.
other one's just as good.
The Group 3 one.
I don't know which one it was.
Oh, you on about the wrong Merc that you were in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. It's easily done that though because there is quite a few of them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Tesco's get on in this championship. That's for certain. So I think we should have a look then at what car the next group chose, seeing as Hay and Ray have decided to try and stitch them up a little bit, and it is the Ford Mustangs. And their team name, Ray?
Rod on your Nelly.
Sounds a bit like an innuendo. Is that a Bonnie Blue comment?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
I don't even give
Know
her
who
the
she
time
is.
of the day.
All right, okay.
I know who she is,
Uh,
but don't give her the time of day.
well, fair
But
enough.
yeah, Interesting team.
Yeah.
Like, we do know Conrad isn't going to be there for the first three races,
Yes.
so Nelly's on his own for three races, but I think they're a very strong team,
Absolutely.
and we know that they didn't pick the Toyota because Conrad didn't get on with it.
Hmm. Which I can understand as well. We'll get onto that in a second. I see. I know Nelly. He likes this Mustang, and interestingly, I think Nelly's first choice would have been the BMW, right? Because I think Nelly worked out how that BMW wanted to be driven. Nelly driving the same way in this Mustang could be difficult to beat, because I think one of the tricks for all of the Group 3 drivers is it's not necessarily about how fast can you go, it's about how few mistakes can you make. Because if you're spinning every 2 laps, it's going to be a bit tough. But if you can keep it on the road and you keep going forward, you'll get better and better and better. And Nelly's in that situation where he's up there again, been winning practice races. He's another one that's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, uh, yeah, he's gonna be a strong contender.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting champion for sure. And I tested the Group 4 Mustang against the SGP and what you call it, the Toyota,
Hmm.
and I couldn't get past SGP at all, and that was,
Mm.
I think, with no boost or boost.
Oh,
I'm not too sure how we tested it.
yeah.
So uh, I think it's going to be tough, tough, but depends how many people turn up and where the boost lies.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
if there's people missing, then it's going to switch that boost around, and there might be a Group 4 a wee bit further up, away from the rest of the Group 4s. So,
There could be. I mean, one of the things that we did in setting this whole um, championship up and how it's going to work, we did look into and take into account potential lap times of the cars. Now, I know with this Mustang, it's taken Connor a little bit of time to work out just how the Mustang wants to be driven. Um, and when he gets fully up to speed in it, we know Connor's quick. Like I said, unfortunately, yeah, he'll miss the first 3 races, but again, he'll get a point for each one. So at least his teammate Nelly, it's not like he's a one-man show. Um, not for all the races. But yeah, so with the difference in speed of the cars, um, that's why we went with the racing hards for the Group 3s and the racing softs for the Group 4s. The Group 3s will annihilate the Group 4s on a straight. The Group 4s, though, are actually faster in the corners. So it's highly recommended if you're in a Group 3 trying to get past some Group 4s, don't try doing it into or out of corners. Like, get through the corner, pass them on the straight, you'll disappear. All right, so bit of advice there for you. But the
and
pace, go on.
also, and also, if you're in a Group 3 and you're going past Group 4s, don't don't assume they're going to let you go by. You
Hmm.
still have to race.
Yeah,
They'll be racing, and you still have to go by rules. There's no, I'm in a Group 3. You should get in my way.
yeah,
Not happening.
absolutely not. I mean, you can't. Yeah, I can't emphasize that anymore. Really, yeah, we're not gonna. There is no right of way. I think is a simple way to put it in there. But also, like I said, we're fast. We will be faster in the corners. We've got more grip, and um, anyone in a Group 3 that tries battling us in the corners will soon realise that they'll probably end up having spins. Whereas if you're just patient for a few moments, you'll just drive past us on the straight. And
Yep.
yeah, do it that way. Now, with the pace difference of the cars as well, the way it should work with the boost. So let's say, for example, um, okay, a Group 4 car with boost will be able to potentially get up to about a second behind a Group 3 car. Then they're not really going to go anywhere unless that Group 3 car keeps making mistakes. If a Group 4 car does get into the mix with the Group 3 cars, all of the Group 3
Put
cars,
yourself in the back.
yeah, um, but all of the Group 3 cars have got the possibility of getting back ahead. Even if there's a Group 3 and a Group 4, neither have got boost. The Group 3 will still be able to get ahead and pull away. Um, so yeah. Anything else you want to add to that bit?
I heard Connor's called his car Sally.
Go on. Why?
Mustang Sally, baby.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Um, I heard Nelly's called his bend over because he keeps fucking it into walls. Sorry. Oh dear. My apologies, everybody. It's been a long day. Okay, should we move on to the last team?
Yep.
I think you'll like this one. Oh, why has it put the picture there like that? Oh, hang on. Oh, hold up. Um, it's messed up the picture for some reason. Let me just move it and resize it. Okay, so, um, Bob. In all honesty, I don't even know if Bob is aware of what his situation is in this championship, because over the last what 3 weeks, I think it is, he has been letting us know on a Monday that he's not available to do the race when we've not been doing a race.
Yeah, we've been on a break.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I have given Bob a team name of the Ghost Racer. Um, because he's not been able to join us yet. But yeah, so Bob doesn't get a choice of car because there was only 8 teams to choose from, and he is left with the Toyota Supra Group 4 car. His team car is the Toyota FT1, I think it's called, isn't it? VGT FT1, something like that.
Yeah.
And basically, if we have a new driver join, they will end up being Bob's teammate in that car, or if we have a driver that has raced with us previously that comes back, they would end up in that Toyota. Now, I wanted to mention, you said earlier that Connor didn't get on with the Toyota Supra, and it's an interesting one. The Toyota Group 4 Toyota Supra has the best turn-in ability of all of the Group 4 cars, including front-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, the lot of them. It turns in so sharply, it's unreal, it's amazing. But if you're not prepared for it or you're not used to it, you turn in, it turns in more than you realise, the rear end comes out. Once the rear end starts coming out, you're overheating the tyres, you're catching tank slappers, and then it's horrible on the exit of corners. So it's a very tricky kind of car to drive. So it will be
Also
interesting.
fun.
It is fun,
It's
yeah.
also, it's a great laugh driving it.
Yeah. Um, it's I mean, I haven't really driven it for this championship, but I know I drove it for one of the time trials not long ago, and it was at Yamagiwa. And the first corner, all the other Group 4 cars were dead slow. This just turned in flat out. And as long as you didn't turn in too much, yeah, it just went all the way around and worked perfectly. So, yeah, right. Anything else you want to touch on there as we get to look at me in freeze frame? You're back on screen now, Ray. Stop picking your nose.
Done it. That was maths.
All right.
I'm looking forward to this championship. Why not? If you want to pull your camera and put it back in.
I'm concerned it might screw up the whole
No,
thing. I can try it.
right. Just take it away and then
Is that what
plug
you
it back in.
normally do? Take it away and plug it back in,
Yeah, yeah,
and then it works.
yeah. I've got 2 cameras and one's kind of going. So
And
yeah,
you got 2 cameras.
yeah. I've got another camera.
Oh, I'm back on the screen. Should be now anyway. Oh, Ray's
got
gone.
up.
Oh, and he's going to put his porn camera on. This is where I have to check and see is there anything behind me that shouldn't be. Yeah, so I know Ray was mentioning about he's looking forward to this championship. I know I am. Oh, he has got his other. Oh, that's a pretty bag behind you, Ray. Is that yours?
Elder. I
um.
use one for head tracking stuff on some
Uh,
sim games and whatnot, and other ones for my stream.
Gotcha. Okay, so a couple of things that we believe are going to be features in this championship. One is the drivers who are used to driving in the pack are going to be driving up at the front. And the drivers who are used to driving up at the front are going to be driving in the pack. Hopefully, us champions will be able to show how pack driving should be done. More than likely, what's going to happen though is absolute bloody carnage.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, me, I froze again. Oh dear.
Sorry.
At least I'm
Uh,
smiling.
if you get something else plugged in, it's overriding.
I think it
I
might.
don't know.
I think it might be a wobbly socket.
Uh,
But
yeah, it's gonna be fun, especially everybody in the group freeze and how they get on. Not too really concerned about the people in group fours, because four of them are admins and it should be setting an example.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, would
I
appear.
don't know about
Go on.
SGP.
Yeah, I mean, there's. It looks like my camera is completely dead now. So unfortunately, folks, you'll just have to look at Ray's pretty face. Yeah, it's not letting me. Oh, hang on. Let's see if it works. There we go. And it'll freeze again in a moment. Yeah. So something that I do want to touch on as well is with us in the pack. It might be the type of racing that some people aren't overly excited by. So, for example, it could be a case of just sit at the back until I don't know the last 5 minutes, pit for a fresh set of tyres, catch up with the booster, and beat the other Group Fours. If that's it, that is it. I think what I would like to think that we could still have some fun and exciting, decent racing in the pack. And hopefully, yeah, still put on a bit of a show. Um, while seeing how the other drivers get on without having the boost up at the front, where if you make mistakes, someone at the front might be able to. What are you smiling at, Raymond? Someone said you something. All right.
No, no.
All right. Yeah, so if you're in a first and second car battle and you make a mistake, you may not see first again. But also, Ray, we've got a special feature race in the middle of this championship. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, we've got the arc, which is we take away the 10 minutes qualifying, add 10 minutes more racing, because of Group 3 and Group 4 kind of racing in real life. So it's like, so it's more endurance. Trying to make it more endurance. I would have went for an hour, but I don't think everybody's got an hour.
No, some
So,
people need to get back to Love Island.
oh, fucking Twilight, what?
Well, he is a
Uh,
twat in this championship, isn't he?
yeah.
He asked for it.
Uh, so that'll be no boost. It'll be the track. Everybody knows it's our main test track, which is DGT Seaside.
Yep.
So no boost and whatnot. I don't think we're going to need to hit for tyres. I doubt it, but
I've got a feeling we might, you know.
uh,
Mm,
that'll be interesting. That'll be when people have a mistake in maybe in the group threes and group four kind of gets further up the pack.
yeah.
But I think that'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to it. It's actually one of the arcs I'm quite looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't able to do an arc before Christmas, and I think we did say we was going to move it to um, perhaps near the summer holidays, but it was an idea that was suggested by one of the admins, and I think we all pretty much straight away was like, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's give it a try in this championship. Race 5, so the middle race of the championship, yeah, race there's no quali. It'll be grid set on championship order, um, and yeah, we'll see how we get on. And even without boost, if you're in a group 3 and you make mistakes, the car's still fast enough for you to pass the group 4s and try and get back into the race with the group 3. So even if you do make mistakes early on, don't worry, keep going. And yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see how that, because we could end up with two sort of very separate races, or we could end up a bit like real life, say Le Mans 24 Hour, where you get the odd GT car sneaking in ahead of some of the more pro cars. Um, so yeah, it'd be definitely interesting to see how that goes. And on that race, I think the pack cam might end up having to sort of focus on the Group 4 battle if the main camera's on the Group 3 battle. There was something else I was going to mention. But, yes. So one of the things that we've had in the testing that we've done so far in the practice sessions is we've not been having any qualifying. So what we've been having at the start of the races, as Ray shows his sponsor, at the start of the races is no, I meant the tenants. Yeah, is a very mixed up grid. So we've had like group 4s at the front and group 3s further back, and it has created a little bit of chaos heading up to turn 1s. So hopefully with the qualifying, even if okay, let's take Rich Blues for example, because he quite often doesn't set qualifying times. He should still go set qualifying time, because even if he sets a lap time that is 3 seconds off the pace of the fastest Group 3 car, he should still be ahead of all of the Group 4s. So it's worth going out and doing that qualifying time, and then you can just stay away of any like danger
Yeah.
at the first corners. So that's obviously something we haven't been experiencing in the practice sessions, but in the races, hopefully we should see a definite split, but maybe with the odd one or two being mixed about if drivers do struggle to get a lap time together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's with the qualifying. I think it's going to make it a wee bit interesting, especially with the ones that aren't maybe confident on their lap times
Yeah,
in
but
the
that
group threes.
yeah, but
Because
one way I'd look at it is use that 10-minute qualifying section as a practice session for your race.
yeah,
Right. And that's something that will be difficult with the qualifying sessions. If you're in a Group 3 car and you're going on your hot laps, what do you do if there's a Group 4 car in front of you on hot laps?
you're going to have to try and overtake them somehow.
Safely.
They don't have to, yeah, safely,
Mm.
within the rules, and yeah, because group fours don't need to yield. I was
Mm.
trying to think of the word there. We don't need to yield. Group fours are there to have their race as well, so tough shit if you get stuck behind one.
Mm. Absolutely. I just want to ask, have you got love arts on your headset?
No, no, it's
They look like little love arts, or oh, is it camo? Snakeskin. It from a distance it does look like love arts. Um, but but yeah, so it's in a way, it's still a shame that we can't record qualifying and show qualifying. I do wish we could do that. Okay, I think we're just about covered most of the things that we're going to talk about regarding this Teams with a Twist series. There is one topic that we've had no preparation for this, but I want to just put it to you anyway. Um, there's a GT update coming soon, which means Gary's not going to get online for about a month. And the update that is coming is bringing four cars that would appear to have pissed off a lot of people. And to be fair, I'm one of them. Do you think there's a risk that GT is losing its excitement, its interest?
I think there's a risk. I think each update that brings out these stupid fucking cars, to put it, it's people are racers. Why do we want to race road cars all the time? Why do we want to trucks all the time? We don't. We
Yeah,
want up-to-date race cars. Uh, and I don't know if it's due to licensing or whatever, but they're just not bringing up up-to-date
yeah.
cars.
Well, the thing is, because I was thinking about this last night. Now I know Art Pal and Steve F1 were having a chat in the drivers' chat yesterday. And I think they both made fair points. Which I'll get onto in a moment. Yes, we want up-to-date race cars. However, right, just think about this for a second. How cool would it be if they brought in 1994 BTCC cars or World Touring car?
Oh,
They're
that'd
not
be fucking awesome.
absolutely. It would be absolutely awesome. Things like the Volvo T5, the Renault Megane, the Ford Mondeo, um, the BMWs, the Vauxhall Cavaliers, the proper race cars, and now they've had the Vauxhalls on previous. They used to have the Super Touring cars on previous GT games, and now these are cars that are what
Is the
20
V8?
Aussie V8s. They wouldn't even have to be the new ones. They could be the older ones, but they'd be cool as hell. But instead, we've got
A truck.
yeah, a crappy truck. And the other three road cars aren't of any interest either. Okay, one of them's a Ferrari. Woohoo! Um, so yeah. Now, I was always on the side of, well, if they're stuck because they can't get the license in, then I can understand it, but come out and say that. But to be honest, I had no idea that there was a game coming out. Um, that so SGP was telling me about this. The guy that started Slightly Mad Studios, who made
Yeah,
Project Cars,
yeah,
I think Project Cars 2. Then they got bought out, and
yeah. For Project Cars
Cars
3, which
3,
became
which
arcadey
yeah,
as hell.
it was crap. Well, apparently the original guy from Slightly Mad Studios has now created a new game called Project Racing, I think it is, and it is apparently a continuation of the original Project Cars games. And having seen the trailer for it, I'm not overly impressed with the footage of it. But they've got modern race cars. They've got the Le Mans hypercars. Now, the Stig, Ben, is it Ben Collins?
Ben Collins, yeah.
Yeah. Um, he's been the test driver for it. Um, which means that really the physics of it should be really, really, really good. But if that's a newish game that hasn't been in conversations that we've had over the last 3 years, how the hell have they got the license in and GT7 hasn't?
Uh, I don't have a Scooby.
No. So not only so this got me thinking. Obviously, now there was talk about obviously people used to enjoy Project Cars. I was one of them. I used to really enjoy Project Cars 1 and Project Cars 2 were brilliant. And there was a bit of a conversation about whether the Project Cars 2 servers are actually still up. So I've done a bit of research into this, and yes, they are. However, with limited online options. Um, but has it made me think? You know what? I'm half tempted to buy a second-hand Project Cars 2 game so I can go and have a drive around some of the tracks that I can't drive. Adonny Park. I can't remember if Silverstone's on it, but
I think there was.
yeah. So there'd be so many tracks on that I know I would love to have a thrash
Isn't
around.
Rock on it as well?
Might be, yeah. I think there was another Scottish one that has no pit lane. Um, yeah. So I mean, I know that that game had a lot of tracks. Now, do I think it's a game that we could go league racing on? No, 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 no. But how the hell can I be in a situation where I'm tempted to go and buy a game from years ago on a PS4 to drive on tracks that I can't drive on a game from 2 years ago?
I don't know. I think the guy got his head in the wrong place.
Mm. Well,
To be honest, like we started in GT Sport, and at the time, GT Sport it was great.
hmm
Uh, uh, far much better than uh, where I personally feel GT7's at, and it's been out for 2 years. Unfortunately, they shut the servers down and kind of forced our hand to move over to GT7. And yeah, and because we're dynamic, we don't want to just be racing cars. They are road cars we want to race, but
mm,
we want, and each season is different as well. It's not the same old
yeah.
season of car, no tyre wear, no fuel. We
Mm,
mix it up. We change the fuel levels. We change the tyre wear levels, and I just feel Assetto Corsa wasn't really on the cards. We
mm,
didn't know quite a lot about that game at the time, and we were just continuing over from GT7 because we had played GT since I can't remember what the first GT game I played was.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I know I've pretty much had every Gran Turismo there was, but only not seriously, but only with a wheel since I think GT4,
Three,
maybe
three,
three
four.
or four. Um, and I mean, there is the possibility that a conversation may be had at some point of, is GT7 giving us what we want from our racing? Um, and I think maybe the sort of two killing factors might be where when we get to the point where we're like, we've raced all these tracks so much, it's just boring now because we're doing the same track. I mean, although we try and switch it up every championship, but there's only so many tracks that we can drive on, and obviously we don't want to be driving on the same tracks every race or every championship. And there are a lot of tracks out there that GT7 needs, and there may be a point where it comes to us having that conversation. One of the difficult factors for that situation, though, is the last thing we would want to do is to say to all of our guys, right, guys, that's it, we're done with GT7. If you want to drive with us, you're going to have to go and buy this game because
Yeah,
that's not really that fair. Because I know a few of our drivers don't get a lot of time to get on and play. Um, so the idea of asking them to go and buy a new game, especially with the prices of games, I mean, if you're looking at like somewhere between £60 to £80 for a game that they're going to play on once a week for maybe an hour, it's a lot to ask of people.
yeah, definitely.
Mm. But having said that, maybe there is the possibility that we could pick up cheap copies of Project Cars 2 and do some random races on other days on tracks we don't get to race on GT7. Scratch that itch somewhere else and have our league racing on GT7 as we are. Maybe.
Mm, Maybe.
I mean, it's a bit like
Yeah.
having a wife but still going to a strip club.
But then, if they're only getting on once a week,
Those people
they're not
aren't going
going
to
to
be
get on
playing.
the.
Yeah,
They're not going to get on Project Currently.
true. But
Oh.
if those people that are on more regularly, who are perhaps more likely to get a bit more fed up with the lack of tracks. I mean,
And
maybe
then, yeah, you could be scratching an itch and you can be bringing up a role, but you could be setting uh, fuel to the fire and they just get pissed off with GT7 even more.
even more. Yeah, I mean that is a possibility. That is, yeah. I mean, this is the thing. If I went and played Project Cars 2, I don't know when that came out, right? I must. Well, it's a PS4 game, and Ray will probably have a look now. Let's see. If I was going to guess, 2015. Um, if I went and played Project Cars 2 and it was better than GT7, I'd be
2015.
pissed. 2015, fucking what a good guess. Jesus, that's a long time ago. Um, how many kids did you have back then?
2015. How many years was
10
that?
years.
10?
Mm,
3.
3. So Ray has 3 kids on average every 10 years. So in 10 years' time, get ready for 9. Um, but yeah. But see, this is, I mean, like, I don't know about you, right? I live a few miles away from Donny Park. If there was racing on at Donny Park now, I'd be able to hear it. And I love racing around Donny Park. I love racing around these other tracks that we can't race on. But also, like I said, I mean, if GT7 brings even like, okay, so with their updates, if they said, right, okay, look, we haven't got the licenses, we can't get all the cars that we want, but we are going to do our damnedest. We're going to bring out a race car on every update we do. Just one. Okay, so you get 4 cars, 3 of them might be shit, but you're going to get a race car. And it might be an older race car, but it'll be a fucking cool one. I know
Why can't they do a track? Like, I don't know why they can't do a track.
well,
Because how many racing games out there have Donny Park, Silverstone,
yeah. Well, that,
even at Knockhill
yeah,
up in uh, Scotland?
Scotland.
Knockhill?
Did you nearly forget what country you were in then? Um,
I was
well,
actually trying to figure out it's Stirling or if it was
uh,
Perth, Stirling, or where it
no.
was.
Well, interestingly, one of the things, well, is it interesting? I don't know. One of the things that Gran Turismo used to do was if they couldn't get the licensing for a track, they would make their own version of it and call it something else, like Monaco. So they had Côte d'Azur. Now, they were able to do that as well because it's a street circuit. Um, so the licensing of that was more to do with the name, not the layout.
Yeah.
So they were able to create the Monaco circuit. And I'm sure they did a few others as well. And they kind of seem to have lost that cheekiness ability, either that or lawyers are better. But why don't they bring out tracks? Why don't they tell us why they're not bringing out tracks? Now, something I think
I don't think they've got. They've not got somebody there speaking to the community. Right,
mm,
where's that guy that wanted to be the community manager? Why hasn't he pressed
mm,
on? I'm not saying the name. I don't want the name on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, do you not like him anymore? Um,
No, no,
uh,
I like him, but
uh,
he's got his separate thing
yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot, and I don't want him.
yeah. We're not here to promote others. What did SGP
I,
have on the site
I don't
still?
want to have to. I don't want to have to put him in the credits either.
All right. Um, but yeah, so now SGP was talking to me about this. He said to me a couple of days ago, he says, I think they're bringing Silverstone on the next update. And I was like, why? What makes you think that? He said, oh, there's been a thing going round about when Gran Turismo had their 15th year anniversary, they brought out Silverstone. And it actually coincided with, I think, like the Silverstone Grand Prix. Um, and now that was quite a few years ago. The date of this upcoming update is on the same date that the 15th anniversary was on. So like May, whatever it is, or March, January, March. So whatever month and day it was, it's the same as the 15th year anniversary. So people have put two and two together and got Silverstone because of a date. And I think some people may have got overexcited about that, and when they've seen the update and gone, well, there's no mention of a track, and the cars are crap, well, that's another kick in the teeth. Um, but unfortunately, I think that is not necessarily clickbait.
That's
I think that's
more.
go on.
I think that's more their fault, not
Mm,
GT7's fault.
yeah,
They've just jumped to conclusions.
yeah. But I mean, GT7 though do need to, they need to do something because, I mean, let's put it this way: I used to love sitting down driving, sitting down racing, and at the moment, I'm only really doing it on a practice night and on a race night, and it's not
If
necessarily.
we're not even having a fucking Saturday night admin night where we
No,
go and do stuff.
no. Well, that's because it got changed to a Tuesday, um, but no, yeah. So I mean, obviously, personal lives get involved as well, but
Not even
I've not found myself sitting here thinking, you know what, I'm going to jump on GT and go and drive this car for for a bit around a track.
Yeah, I did the same. I'm not.
Mm,
Uh, even though I've got the VR, I still, if I'm not on with a Monday and a Thursday, even like we do comms on the Friday, yeah.
Tuesday,
No, we
Tuesday.
do the
We
comms on the
used to do
Tuesday.
comms on a Friday.
Yeah, yeah. So Monday racing, Tuesday comms, and any stewarding. We've not had much stewarding to do, touch
Mm,
very wood. And so we kind of get off comms and that's it. We're not back on to Thursday. We don't have, we've not really had the usual like Saturday weekend night of let's get on and do a wee bit of driving and then go to
do some
another
games.
game.
Yeah,
We've just not done it. I don't think any of the admins are really not. It's not. We're not caring. We've not got the excitement from the
excitement.
game.
Well, that's the thing. So it's like sitting here and I'm like, if I had the option right now of driving around Donny Park or Silverstone in any car or jumping on GT, I'd probably pick jumping on Donny Park or Silverstone for something different. And that's a problem. And that's where potentially this new game that comes out, it could be a change. It could be a game changer. But at the same time, I don't
It could
think
be a flop.
it could be. But also, if it doesn't offer the things we would want from league racing, we wouldn't be going to another game anyway. Because one of the things that we do want to go on,
There's also a set of Calls of Evil.
yeah,
It's coming out. Well, it's not coming out on console for a while, but it'll be out on PC after. I can't remember how many. They've got so many test
mm,
runs where X amount of people can test it, or live test or whatever it is. I can't remember what they called it. So until it's released on PC. Uh, in fact, is it released on PC yet?
it might be.
I've not been following it
Yeah.
for a while.
Well, I mean, here's something else which is a bit of a kick in the teeth. So, for example, any of us that have gone to a PS5 that isn't a disc version, if you had the desire of thinking, you know what, I might go and pick up a cheap second-hand Project Cars 2, you can't. You can't get it
Was,
because you can't put a disc in your non-disc PlayStation 5, and they're not available online.
is
Um,
it not?
no, no, no. So with Project Cars 2, they took it off sale, off all platforms, but kept the
Oh,
servers on.
so it's on early access, so it is available on PC.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, GT does some good things well. For example, it does provide updates regularly. It fixes stuff regularly. they just need to give us some more stuff. Now, this comes on to one of the things that Art Pal mentioned, which is a really frustratingly good point, and that is we've paid our money for the game, and yes, GT does have microtransactions in a way, but any car that's available for you to buy with real money is also available for you to buy by playing the game, earning credits, and doing it that way. So are they going to invest money and time on modern race cars when they've already got our money? Unless they bring it out as DLC. But then, as much as I don't like DLCs, if it was modern race cars that was, I don't know, a couple of quid or like a series of cars for a couple of quid, I'd be tempted to pay it, you know. Or if it gave you the option of, right, okay, yes, there's DLC, you can buy it, or you can grind a bit on the game, get the credits, but you can still get the car. Um, I mean, if they did something like that, I think it would be fantastic. But I do think ArtPal's got a point. I mean, are they going to spend money on the licensing, the development, and all that stuff? I don't know. I would hope they do, because if they don't do something, A, no one else is going to be buying the game. B, they're not going to be having any further income. And C, if and when a Gran Turismo 8 comes out, which potentially could be quite a few years, there's a lot of people that aren't going to be wanting to buy it because they, if it's the same as what we've got now, I'm not going to want to spend 80, 100 quid on it because it's not giving me what I want.
Hmm.
Mm. But then you usually have to drive around the corner and find the ladies of the night for what I want. Um, but yeah, I don't mean to be sort of ranting a bit here, but I think it's a conversation that kind of has to be had because I know other people are frustrated with Gran Turismo not
Yeah,
providing it.
yeah, but yeah, one of our admins is very vocal on it, and we
Mm,
do listen to him, but we've got no answer for him, to be honest.
no, well, yeah, yeah. I mean,
And it gets frustrating for us as well, like
mm,
even uh, admins and me and SUP as well, like, oh, we're going to start losing people
mm,
in the league and whatnot, and like the well, Steve F1, like he's a great guy, and we never want to lose him, and we wish the game not to make him
mm,
leave
mm.
type thing. I don't think he'd leave, but I know he's
Getting fed up with GT7. I think. I mean,
yeah,
his comments was
and
paid the early money to have early access of the game or to have the game when it came out for a game that was broken when it came out and a game that still now 2 years later isn't providing any more modern race. I mean, I haven't looked, but I think one of the most modern race cars on it is Mercedes AMG 20. Um, Now there may be something that's newer than that, but off the top of my head, I think that might be the most modern one. But this is what I was saying though. GT7 brought out the sort of 1994-ish Formula One car. Fantastic. Now I know Steve F1, for example, he bought a load of them, put different F1 liveries on them all, and went and did a single race against them all. Right? I can imagine. I've not done it myself, but I can imagine that would have been great fun because I know I've driven that car around some tracks.
sorry, what was that? I was trying to look up something and it
Steve
didn't bring
F1
it.
buying a load of the old F1 cars and putting different
Yeah,
liveries on them and doing a single player race against them all. Um, and yeah, absolutely loving it. And I can imagine I'd love it as well. Um, so it doesn't necessarily, like I said, doesn't have to be a modern race car. It could be an older one that's cool as
well,
fuck.
yeah.
So, it's like,
Something that's got legendary status
yeah,
within the racing.
Yeah,
scene.
a six-wheeled F1 car. So like with the LMP ones, obviously we've currently got the old Jaguar, the old Merc, and those. They're legendary. Love them. I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's so many. The old DTM cars. There's so many that they could.
Only the Audi DTM, which you have to hold a fucking button
Oh,
to
yeah,
get the DRS.
yeah, yes. We could sit here and rant all night, I think. But I don't know about
Oh,
you. I'm getting bloody hungry. A Ray's already started on the beer, so this can only go one way, downhill. Um, but interestingly, it looks like you've got handlebars on your steering wheel. I'm guessing that your indicator stalks.
yeah,
Yeah.
indicator, window wiper and indicator.
Oh, fancy. Um, so right, okay, yeah, we've waffled. Is there anything else
Flash.
you would like to? Is there anything else you would like to touch on?
No, no, just, no, no, I'm
Mm.
happy. Look, I'm forward to the season coming, and I think next season we don't know what it is yet. I don't think we're waiting on uh,
We know a little bit.
somebody coming back to us with a good idea. Well, his idea, sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, whether it's good or not is a
Well,
different story.
well.
uh, uh,
Things that there's going to be something in between that though, because I think if there isn't any delays, or even if there is a week or so delay, this next championship is going to take us sort of up to the summer holidays.
yeah,
Normally in this, we've decided in the summer holidays is where we would normally do our dirty championships. This year we're going to do something slightly different, or at least we've had a chat about doing something slightly different, where I don't think we're going to do a dirty championship, but we are going to do something different that we haven't done before. um, so hopefully that should be a bit of fun. Nothing too serious. And yeah, we'll see. We'll bring more info. So the next championship is more likely going to be after sort of the summer holidays, where, as Ray said, yeah, I mean, basically what we've done is we've said to Steve F1, um, have a think about what sort of championship you might fancy putting together. Um, and then if it is shit, we can blame him for it. Um, and if that's the championship that breaks the camel's back, it's his own fault. Um, but no, but it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I have loads of different ideas for championships, and I know SGP has loads of different ideas, and Ray's had different ideas, and all the drivers have had different ideas. And Steve F1, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever known him to. So I've got an idea. What about this? So we kind of have said to him, right, well, Steve, have a think. You got a bit of time. Is there any kind of championship that you'd be interested in doing? Whether it be a particular car, type of racing, whatever it may be, have a think. Um, and kind of perhaps trying to scratch his itch of, if GT7 isn't giving you what you want from it at the moment, how can we help you get what you want from GT7 at the moment?
yep,
Mhm. But unfortunately, it's give him Gary as a teammate in a car that he's only just bought without any practice in the first league races tomorrow. So good luck.
yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm starving, so we're gonna have to end. We'll have to see if I can find out how to end a live stream. Ray, thank you very much for joining us on the chat. I do appreciate it.
No worries at all.
And thank you to everybody.
I
Go
was
on.
hoping your camera would break because it'd be a red screen with your nickname.
Oh
If you
yeah.
look at
Oh, when did you change that, you bastard?
that's what I was laughing at.
I knew you were laughing at something. Bloody hell. He doesn't like Jackie Hicks. He loves Donkey Hicks. Bloody hell, Raymond. I suppose that's payback for the loaf of bread from a few live streams ago. Right, you bastard. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for watching, listening. You know what to do. Like, subscribe. And if you do want to get involved in the Dynamic GT League, don't make friends with this cunt because he'll call you weird fucking names.
Send it to the page.
Absolutely. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.